Hello, welcome back to this video. Today is Wednesday and it's a beautiful day today outside. I am gonna be headed outside in a few moments to meet up with my colleague. He used to work with me back when I was working in a call center. And we had like a lot of discussion this morning and we were laughing at things that were happening back then. And he just said some things and it made me laugh. And I was like, wait, I think I've seen like some videos going around like on TikTok and YouTube. A lot of people giving their experiences, and I was like, I should share my experience when I was working in the call center. So I was a technical advisor for one of the biggest companies in the world, and I've loved it at first. It was refreshing learning something new and like going through the training and like learning the processes and meeting new people, especially after multiple lockdowns. I've met some incredible people. Some of them are like became my friends now. The beginning was fine, but like after a few months, I started feeling like I've seen it all, I've done it all, and most of all, that job wasn't for me. It wasn't for me for a couple of reasons. The first thing is I hated being talked to after working hours. I found myself to be very like irritated, and I didn't want to talk because I've been talking on the phone for like 8-9 hours straight nonstop with people trying to resolve their problems, even if you have 10 minutes breaks here and there, but it's not enough. After work, I would go home and try to be alone, which is not easy when you live with people. I don't like to be bothered for like the smallest things, and I only noticed this like long after working in this, like for like almost 6 months, and I was like, why am I becoming like this? And then I was like, wait. I noticed that when I was off from work, I was fine, and when I took some couple days off, I was really fine, and I was like I like being around people and being talked to and everything, but once I go back to work and I leave by the end of the day, I'd be like, so like mentally drained, I don't want to be talked to. Speaking of mentally drained, this is the second thing that I literally hated about this job. I literally would go back home with no mental energy left in me because the mental drainage this job had was crazy. The customers' attitudes, and I was dealing with French customers and all day, and I can say 100% they're the most challenging, not the word I want to go for, but I'm trying to be respectful here. The mental energy this job requires is like crazy. I mean, when I say crazy, I mean there are jobs far more like hard to do. This isn't a job that is hard to do, really. Anybody can do this. Actually, I don't know if anybody can do this, but feel like shit because most time people are very disrespectful. They use like very harsh speech. It's not against you, and you know that. But when you've had multiple clients throughout the day only using like very harsh speech, and you have to listen to those things, even if it's not against you, and you know that, and you've been trained to not be affected by it. You can't help. You're human, and when your ears are listening to that the entire day, your brain starts processing those things as if it was for you. Sometimes you have your own life outside of work, and when you're not feeling well and you have to deal with those things, you're like, oh, what? At the end of the day, you're like super freaking tired mentally because you've been sitting there the entire day. In this job, you have to be like smiley and like all fun and like a good listener and like available, blah, blah, blah. But you can do that, but to some extent. When you have like someone in front, like at the other side of the line, who isn't really knowledgeable of the product or the process, person starts like belittling you, like saying like bad things about the product or about the company, which again, you represent the company. It's not you, but you represent the company. They think they know better than you. They belittle you using like a very like harsh speech and thinking like the product is ish and it should be like working. It's only 7 years that I bought it and it should like launch for our customers and things like this, which is completely stupid. At the end of the day, you just want to punch them in the face because you're like literally like, why do I have to deal with this? Even though I do like to deal with like solve people's problems most times, I'm good with solving people's problems, not mine. But only have like a limited amount of mental energy. It's hard to do like a side hustle or like a side job or like film a video or like do anything for that matter. You're like, what the hell am I gonna do this for? I don't even have the energy for this. Now you can handle all of this if you know how to like calm the client and then redirect their frustration to something else and like give them a solution. But most times I learned it's not really a solution. It's more, I mean, like your problem is not solved. It's more like go try this, and if it doesn't work out, call us back. Because yeah, you can tell the customer, oh, we can't do anything about this. Which makes people even more frustrated when they have to call back for like the 6th time for the same problem that isn't still it still isn't resolved. All because like the company needs to keep like an accessible like image in there, like an accessible, user-friendly image in their customers' minds, even though their processes were nothing close to user-friendly. I've done a couple other jobs like this one, but I chose to speak about this one because I literally, when I worked in it, I realized how flawed it was. Like the processes were flawed. There were things to be done to be better, but you're only, I mean, like you can't tell them like you have to change it. So like only here to actually give to do the customer service, and not here to like better the processes. And it was weird and stupid, knowing that you can do better but you can't. There was like another thing, which was like the way they evaluated your performance as an advisor, which didn't bother me. It was flawed the way they do it, but it didn't bother me since I was always like ranking within the top performers of the company of that particular project. But I still find that it was flawed. There were things that could be done differently. Now I've decided to talk about this because, to make disclaimer first, if you've been doing this job for like a long time, this is your career, you love it, it's fulfilling to you, good for you, happy for you, more to you. But to me, this job had no purpose. To me, it had no purpose. I mean personal purpose. Like doing that job, I felt like I wasn't going anywhere, I wasn't like advancing anywhere. I was like tired most times, hating to go back there the next day. Even when I was working from home, I was so lazy to wake up in the morning, pick up the damn phone, be like, hi, how can I help you today? I don't want to help you today, I want to be helped today. So when I was working at the office, I felt like a robot in a cubicle, answering calls non-stop. Sometimes I only had like a couple seconds between two calls. And sometimes it could be an entire day going that way. It would be a call, a couple seconds, a call, a couple seconds, a call, a couple seconds. So before you can have like a break, only 3 hours went by with you on the phone. You always have to start like the next call, like the upcoming call, with like a pop of energy, like you're all happy, you're here, you're available, even though like the 2-3 previous calls were like ish. When I just started the job, it was fine. I was like, yeah, I was like, I had the energy. I haven't worked for like a long time. I had all the energy to like put up in there, and I was like, yes, let's do this. It's fine. But then days go by and months go by, and I started to be like really tired and like, not just like tired, I was like dreading going to work. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. I was like, what the fuck? Why am I doing this? Now, I know each job has, I don't know, English is not my first language, its own fair share of like unpleasant encounters and like things you don't want to do, and like things that actually bother you and like make you go crazy and ask yourself, why am I doing this, blah, 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 blah. But I've never felt as tired as I was in the job. And my actual job is an event manager, which is one of the most stressful jobs in the world. You can like literally look it up on the internet. You see it's like ranked in the 5th position or something. But this job literally, like as in the call center, it was just like unnecessary waste of my energy. And I asked myself, why am I doing this job? To have an income. I know people who are working with me, whenever I ask anybody, it would be like, because I need the money. They can't work in their field because of whatever we're going through. But it was all the same answer, and it was the same for me too. You can make money in so many different ways today. Having to work from home, from your own computer, on your own terms, doing whatever you want, pursuing whatever you want, without having to like answer to somebody who's being evaluated by some type of flawed system, whatever. If things work out, it's because of you, and if they don't work out, it's because of you. And you only have you to work on. You don't have to like, you know, like answer to a manager, to the manager of the manager, and blah, blah, and all of that. I hated all of that. It's not I hated us. I realized I'm like, I don't want to work in that anymore. I don't want to have to deal with that anymore. If I have to, like if my life depends on it, maybe. But if it doesn't, and I have a choice, I choose not to. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. I chose not to do that anymore, and I'm like working on some things for myself, learn new skills, and actually trying to find my way. I know it's something that it's scared of a lot of people, venturing alone without the stability that a salary provides you with. Because you're literally going into something that is unpredictable. You don't know the outcome, but you're never gonna know if you don't try. Now, don't go taking uncalculated risks. Like, make sure you can meet your monthly necessary expenses before anything. Like, yes, have some money on the side before jumping on something and like do something else. So like take a risk. You don't just go and take a risk with no plans or no money. Now, I'm not telling you to go like quit your job and sit around the house. Since I quit, I can actually work on my own term, whenever I want, at my own pace. And the most important thing is like my mental health is thinking. I have more time for my family, I can do more. I feel even more motivated to do more, which wasn't the case before since I was always tired. No mental energy at the end of the day. So I had to make a choice, and I'm happy I made this one. I decided to share this with you today is because I wanted you to know that no amount of money will replace a lost passion. No amount of money will make you feel good if your mental health is taking a beating. So take time to assess where you are, what you're doing, how you feel about what you're doing, and if there's anything that's not aligning with where you want to be or who you are, make a change, make a decision, and you have to prioritize what it is you want to do that's going to help you advance and get to where you want to be. Usually it is hard to admit some things to ourselves, but you owe yourself to be happy and feel good. Nobody is going to give you that. It's your responsibility and no one else's. On that note, take care of yourself, and in the comments let me know if you've ever worked in this field or if you're still working on it. All the luck to you. Share your experiences with me. I would really want to know how you're dealing with all of this, and see you on the next one. Bye.